Revenge. A dish best served cold. From my experience, this is also the model of Six Flags food service. And what does that get you? Montezuma's Revenge, but that's at a Cedar Fair park. And yes, that's a poop joke. I wish I could do better, I really do. But with the writer's strike, I'm stuck writing my own material, so I apologize in advance. Anyway, revenge is a powerful thing. Pretty much the opposite of forgiveness, but that would make for a pretty lame name. By my count, there are 16 coasters out there that are out to get you, and 3 of them are kind of the same. So for sanity's sake, let's combine them. Every coaster has their own reason for being vengeful. Sorry Steel Vengeance, you don't qualify for this one. But let's stack up the rest of them and rank them down from worst to best. This is Revenge versus Revenge versus Revenge versus... Don't expect anything witty, my writers aren't strike. Number 14. Cat's Revenge at Funtastic's Family Fun Park. First, I've never heard of this place. It's a family fun center in Tucson, Arizona. It looks pretty awesome. It's got go-karts, mini golf, a water park, and this amazing Wisdom Rides powered miner Mike, Cat's Revenge. Who or what is Cat? Why is Cat angry? Why does a train have that look on its face? And why are these cats taking up a full car and killing its capacity? I don't know the answer to any of these questions. RCDB also doesn't know anything about this coaster. It opened somewhere between 1992 and 1996, and closed sometime between when dinosaurs roamed the Earth till last Tuesday. We know about supernovas that happen in galaxies billions of light years away, but we can't find out when Cat's Revenge closed. It's like the metric system. It's impossible to find out. Number 13. Merlin's Revenge at Castle Park. Not to be confused with Merlin's Mayhem, or Merlin Parks. This is the more sinister version of Merlin, getting its revenge on this Vekoma Jr. coaster. This opened in 2001 at this park in Riverside, California, so I had 19 years to ride it when I lived there, and I never did. But then again, it's in Riverside, and nobody wants to go there.
You shall not pass!
Well, that's not Merlin. That's another old bearded man with a stick. But really, same difference. Number 12. Joker's Revenge at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Before Fiesta Texas started getting good rides, they got Joker's Revenge. This was a Vekoma Hurricane, and that's kind of ironic, considering it ended up at Six Flags New Orleans, and yeah. This was the first coaster that would open under Six Flags management, themed to the Joker because, well, of course it was. Time Warner was using the parks as one giant commercial for their IPs, and this ran backwards. An old Vekoma jerking you around backwards. No thanks. Number 11. Stella's Revenge at Clacton's Pier. Here's a fun one. When we did Steel versus Why Are You Steel Watching This? We got to know Steel Stella, the side friction coaster on Clacton's Pier in the UK. It was called Steel Stella despite being made of wood, leading to this meme that I'm gonna recycle because I got no riders.
Yes, and you call them
Steel,
despite the fact they are obviously
wood. And I know it was made of wood because it burned down in 1973. But that's not the end of the story. Stella was gone for 37 years, and then it finally got its revenge, taking that whole "a dish best served cold" thing a way too far. In 2011, Clacton Pier introduced Stella's Revenge, an Interpark Cyclone, one of those portable Pinfari Cyclone-style coasters. Yep, it took a while, but Stella finally got her revenge, and 8 years later, this was taken down. So now, that begs the question, in 2056, will Stella's Revenge get its own revenge, or will Clacton Pier finally let her rest in peace? Only time will tell. Stay tuned.
How long has it been?
6 seconds.
Do we have to start over?
Hell no.
Number 10. Kraken's Revenge at Desaru Coast Adventure Water Park. If you had Malaysia on your bingo card, normally that's not going to get you anywhere. But today, you're a big winner. This is a Mock Rides water coaster, the same exact one as Jur Summerland in Denmark, which I get to do this summer, and I hate water rides, but I'll do anything for the credit. For me, Kraken's Revenge would be getting soaked and walking around the rest of the day in wet, nasty socks. This is about 90 feet tall. It has a mid-course brake run right after the dip off the lift, so that's weird. Block zones, I guess. I really shouldn't have bailed on El Toro Ryan for my last video on the Batman coasters.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, a block is a section of the ride that only one train...
Nope. Nope, okay, I'm switching back to Batman. So after that block zone, it swoops down, winds back up, into a big drop and a crazy ejector hill, and then you get wet. You can even see the Kraken tentacles sticking out, nice and dry, mocking you as you slosh around for the rest of the day. Number 9. Spider-Man, Doc Ock's Revenge at IMG Worlds of Adventure. This is a massive indoor park in Dubai, and that's where you're going to find this mock ride spinner. You can ride the Spider-Man cars, or you can ride the Doc Ock cars. Now, if you're not familiar with Spider-Man, one of the best trilogies ever in my opinion, the villains all torture Spider-Man, and then at the end, they realize how bad they are and feel bad. This was especially true for Doc Ock, who... Wait, hold on. Gotta add a spoiler alert for this movie that came out 19 years ago. If you haven't seen it by now, let's face it, you're not going to. But regardless, just give me 5 seconds here. Doc Ock tries to redeem himself, destroying his fusion reactor by drowning it in the river. Revenge is the last thing that guy needed, but go ride his coaster anyway. It looks pretty fun and it's very well themed. Number 8. Riddler Revenge at Six Flags New England. This Vekoma SLC opened as Mind Eraser, and given those restraints, there is no reason to wonder why. Six Flags made this right in 2017 by giving it new trains, and completely overhauled its image the next year, giving it a DC theme so it could fit in. As someone who was tortured on Mind Eraser back in 2015, and then got to ride the actually good Riddler Revenge in 2018 and 2021, I gotta say, Riddler, you can do better. But I have a feeling you're gonna have your chance later on this list. Wait, I forgot the spoiler alert again. Screw it. Number 7. Revenge of the Mummy at various Universal parks. I know, each one is different, and not just by a little bit. They have significant differences. But instead of nerding out and psychoanalyzing each one, let's focus on how they're similar. They're built by Premier Rides. They have mild launches. They have lots of theming. It goes forward and backward. The one in Florida has some really good airtime. And after what Brendan Fraser did to that mummy, there's no wonder why it's looking for revenge. Number 6. Riddler's Revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Unlike the one at Six Flags New England, this one came out and had some relevance to the Batman franchise. Batman Forever premiered in 1995, featuring Ace Ventura as the Riddler, causing Iceman all the problems. And, wait, here we go again. Spoiler alert for this movie that's almost 30 years old now. Actually, I never saw this movie, but I'm just gonna guess that Batman defeated the Riddler, and he came back for his revenge at Six Flags Magic Mountain for the 1998 season. This big green B&M looks amazing. All those huge inversions reminding us that Six Flags used to buy coasters like this. Those were good times. Good, financially irresponsible times. Anyway, the Riddler gets his true revenge with those trains. This is a stand-up coaster. It pulls a lot of positive G's. You're standing there, kind of sitting there on a bicycle seat. So you do the math. The Riddler wins this round. Number 5. Montezuma's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm. For my money, this is my favorite coaster name of all time. You got the dog fart coaster. You got my logo for the defunct Japanese coaster company, Togo. But there is only one coaster that's truly themed to poop, and that's Montezuma's Revenge. If you want to know what WebMD says about it, I'll let you know, but let me put up this spoiler alert again. Not because I'm spoiling the end of a movie I haven't seen, but just because this is nasty and you may not want to hear it. Montezuma's Revenge is an infection of your intestines, and it can be passed by food handlers if they don't wash their hands after leaving the bathroom. Get a good magazine, or make sure your phone is all charged up because you're gonna need it. Big props to Knott's Berry Farm for using this name for this Schwarzkopf shuttle loop when it opened in 1978. This is a classic, the last Schwarzkopf shuttle loop in America, but right now it's undergoing a major renovation and will reopen this year as Montezuma's Revenge, the Forbidden Fortress. Funny enough, the Forbidden Fortress is what you call the bathroom after gracing it with Montezuma's Revenge. I know, sorry again guys. I promise, I won't make another one of these without my riders. Number 4. Hydra the Revenge at Dorney Park. This name gets a standing ovation, and it ties right in with the park's history. In 1989, Dorney Park opened Hercules, a Din Corporation wooden coaster. 14 years later, the ride was so miserable they shut it down, and with RMC still 8 years away, they had to replace it. Cedar Fair hired B&M to get this done. That bright green track reminding us when Cedar Fair used to give new coasters at Dorney Park. But hey, I can't complain too much. They actually might get a dive coaster in 2024, so Cedar Fair hopes that'll shut them up for another 18 years. Anyway, this bright green B&M floorless coaster is called Hydra the Revenge, in reference to the multi-headed serpent that Hercules had to battle. Hercules obviously won in the Disney movie. Oh wait, spoiler alert. Okay, got it. So Hercules obviously won in the Disney movie. A happy ending, of course. It's a Disney movie, not a Stephen King movie. But at Dorney Park, Hercules is the one that died, and Hydra took its spot. Kind of a dark twist, and that gets lost when you're riding this 105-foot tall, 7-inversion flawless. But next time you're on it, just think about it. Number 3. Light of Revenge at Happy Valley. If you were thinking, hey, isn't this just a clone of Cheetah Hunt? The answer is no, it's actually different. But the answer is also kind of yes. The differences are pretty mild. This opened 10 years after Cheetah Hunt, so if anyone should be vengeful, it should be Busch Gardens. But instead, it's light. I thought maybe this was a translation issue, so I punched the Chinese spelling into Google, and it's Vengeful Light. Personally, I really hate Vengeful Light. Like someone opening the blinds in the morning, or that light that erases your memory, or when you open your phone in the dark with a brightness way too high and it burns the eyeball straight out your head. So the name may not make much sense, but at the same time, I get it. Number 2. Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. This is another one that makes sense, but also makes no sense. Steel Phantom was a massive 225-foot aero looper that opened in 1991, and if that sounds painful, apparently it was. It only lasted 10 years, then Kennywood shut it down, hiring Morgan to come in and overhaul the layout. The job they did was nothing short of magic. After 10 years, the original Steel Phantom was too rough, and the new Phantom's Revenge is over 20 years old now and still glossy smooth. So, the question here is, why is this ultra-smooth airtime machine Phantom's Revenge? If anything, it should be called Phantom's Apology. Sorry for beating you stupid. The park would even tell you to remove your earrings before riding. They didn't want a crime scene in their aero trains. So yeah, sorry for all that. Here's something way better. Phantom's Apology, Phantom's Redemption. Those names would be way more appropriate, but they're also stupid. So Phantom's Revenge it is. Number 1. Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park. This isn't even open yet, but as I like to do, I'm projecting. In 1996, Hershey Park bought the first ever coaster from Great Coasters International, or GCI. Over time, it gained a reputation for being one of the worst wooden coasters in the country. I don't know if I would go that far. Compared to Pegasus, this is amazing. And yes, I mentioned Pegasus just to have an excuse to play the clip where everyone's neck snaps in half. But Wildcat wasn't very good, at least not by the time I rode it in 2018. With 2 other wooden coasters in the park, it made sense to turn this into a hybrid. In 2023, Hershey Park is finally getting this done. RMC is adding 34 feet to its height, giving it 4 inversions. You got this pissed off cat bursting through the front of the train, which is quite the look. Wildcat is truly getting its revenge. Well, not really. This is just like Phantom's Revenge. Wildcat spent 26 years bouncing us around and clubbing baby seals. And honestly, if Hershey Park and RMC can't save that sound for the new coaster, I'm not going to be happy. But that's not where I was going with this. Wildcat owes us an apology, not vengeance. If this coaster turns out to be as good as it looks, apology accepted. That's a wrap on all the revenge coasters of the world. Let me know what you think of this ranking, what you would have changed around, and how many revenge coasters you've ridden. I've only been on 7 of the 16, and when I ride Wildcat's Revenge this summer, that'll bring me up to 8 and 50%. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like, and if you're new here and love coasters, please give me a sub. I have a playlist with other parody-style videos like this. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage, and my baseball channel if you like baseball as much as spoiler alerts for movies that are older than time itself. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.